Hi, everyone. Welcome to our brief presentation, which is part of our Winter Wellness Guide. We're going to be doing a brief presentation today on preparing for a different kind of holiday season. So managing expectations and trying to find some joy during these times. My name is Emily O'Day. I am a clinical psychology doctoral student at Temple University, and I'm currently working as a psychology extern this year at the Jefferson Center City Clinic for Behavioral Medicine.
And my name is Joey. I am also a doctoral student in clinical psychology at Temple University. And like Emily, I am also a clinical extern at the Jefferson Center City Clinic for Behavioral Medicine this year. We wanted to give a special shout out to our supervisor, Dr. Virginia O'Hare, for helping us put this presentation together.
Wonderful. So as with most of 2020, this holiday season is likely going to be very different than past years. So we're hoping to take this opportunity to share some tips and some skills we think might be helpful as we enter these upcoming winter months. And we're specifically wanting to talk to you guys about managing expectations and trying to find some joy this holiday season. So we have two objectives for today, in which we're focusing on first, managing expectations and holiday stress. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about how we can all find some joy this season. In both these sections, we're going to be talking more about specific skills that might be applicable at this moment, which we'll go into detail now.
Okay, great. So first I want to talk to you all a little bit about managing expectations this holiday season. And as Emily mentioned, there are a lot of things that are completely out of our control or are going to look a little bit different than possibly years past. There probably are going to be some traditions that might have been abandoned or travel plans that have been thwarted. So a big part of being able to manage your expectations is sort of being able to take a step back and think about what is more so in the present. The focus is not so much to dwell on the past, romanticize it, but try to focus and be, mindful of what is happening in the present moment. It's not necessarily possible to try and change or control anyone else's behaviors, and to just kind of be able to focus on what you are able to do or able to control in this given moment, given that there's so many things that are uncertain in 2020 and during this these winter months. And the second part to managing your expectations is really to be able to acknowledge your feelings and recognize that it's okay to be feeling all of the things that you might be feeling, whether those are positive or negative emotions, whether you're experiencing stress or frustration, or being able to be happy during times when it seems like it should be really hard to be happy. Regardless of whatever you might be feeling, it's okay to have feelings that feel out of sync with the holiday season, and it's okay to also try to push those feelings away. And so that brings us to this concept of radical acceptance, which is the idea to be able to completely and totally accept from deep within about the facts of reality. And the concept of radical acceptance can be something that's really helpful in this particular moment because unlike acceptance, which is the idea or the mere recognition of facts or letting go of fighting one's reality, what radical acceptance is trying to cultivate is the ability to accept something fully and wholeheartedly and allowing yourself to fully experience reality as it is in this moment. So a fun example could be, or a fun demonstration of this is think about a time when you've misplaced your keys and you go look for them, right? You're searching in your usual places, you're looking in places that are less likely, you've turned over all of your covers, you've looked through every drawer, and you've looked everywhere and still there's no luck and you're now without your keys. At this point, the idea of radical acceptance is to fully embrace the frustration that you might be experiencing for having wasted so much time looking for these keys, not being able to find them, but also recognizing that the frustration doesn't change the act or the reality that you aren't able to find your keys. So I know that that's a silly example to kind of demonstrate something that's really significant, but with the holidays, radical acceptance can be something that's really helpful if you're experiencing a lot of negative or painful emotions that cannot be avoided, or when trying to reject reality or change reality doesn't necessarily become a helpful solution. So although radical acceptance might be accompanied with feelings of sadness or frustration at first, One's ability to fully embrace these negative emotions actually creates room for calmness and relief that usually doesn't occur if you're trying to fight those feelings. So there's a part of radical acceptance that's about the idea of being able to push through and embrace the negative emotions such that you are able to receive calmness and sort of relief at a later point. Some other tips for how to manage your expectations is sort of being able, as you're fully embracing your feelings, to take a breather and remind yourself to give yourself time to listen to your body, listen to your needs, and figure out what it is that you need at this very moment to be able to move forward with your day, with your month, with your week, whatever that might be. And so take some time to take a breather, make time for yourself, take care of yourself, and also try to find time to connect with other people, whether that's to volunteer at your local soup kitchen, to continue with your typical or your usual AA or NA meetings, reach out to friends or family that you might usually be in the same room with that you might not be able to see this time around. And try to not focus on isolating yourself and trying to create these connections in a virtual space, even if we can't be with other people in person at this moment. And this is also a time that we want to bring in the skill of self-soothing with 5 senses. So to self-soothe, the idea is to be able to look for things that can help activate your social safety, or to help create a sense of being comforted, nurtured, to find senses of peace, feeling gentle, and being mentally kind to yourself. And so there are many, many ways that one can self-soothe, and often these are prompted by one of our 5 senses. So it could be something that triggers your visual domain, where you're creating social safety by lighting candles, having soft lighting, enjoying a night walk, and enjoying your environment. It could be something related to activating your hearing system. So, for example, listening to calming music, singing a favorite song of yours, listening to white noise when you go to sleep. Things that activate your smell, so smelling flowers, opening the window for fresh air. If you enjoy cooking, it could be the smell of cooking a familiar recipe that you usually make during the holiday season. With taste, it could be anything about relating to making sweet treats that you usually bake for the holidays, sipping a warm beverage. And touch can also be really helpful for activating that social safety and for self-soothing. So things like taking a warm bath or a shower, wrapping yourself up in a blanket, however you can to make yourself feel a little bit more peaceful and a little bit more comfortable wherever you are. And lastly, for managing expectations, our body can have a huge effect on our mind, and an out of balance body can increase our vulnerability to stress and negative emotions. So with this in mind, don't abandon healthy habits that you might have set for yourself, but also be willing to listen to your body and be open to changing things up. So if you're feeling stressed, you might be having an urge to overindulge and eat more, which could lead to more stress later. And so a lot of times it's about making the mindful choice to decide what are the healthy habits that you want to keep with and what are things that you want to break away from, because it might make you feel better at this very moment. And either way, it's going to be okay, so long as you're making a mindful choice about what it is that you want to do. PLEASE is a fun acronym to help remember the various aspects of physical health that can have implications on our mental health. So P or L stands for physical illness. And so if you're feeling sick, be sure to set up a virtual doctor's appointment and take care of that illness. If you're concerned about being exposed to COVID or exhibiting COVID symptoms, be sure to address those concerns when they come up and be able to kind of be mindfully able to detect or treat those symptoms. With E, that stands for balanced eating. So eating too much or excessive dieting can also lead to changes in mood. So consider how you can eat mindfully, avoid foods that make you feel bad, and stick to foods that make you feel good, calm, or energized. A stands for avoid mood-altering substances, which hopefully is self-explanatory, but also remember that taking your prescribed medication is also important to do at this very moment if that's something that you already do and have a habit of doing. S stands for sleep or balanced sleep, so finding time to get a standard amount of sleep or keeping a consistent schedule can help you maintain your body's homeostasis. And E stands for getting exercise, and 20 minutes a day of cardio exercise can do wonders. So these are all the various ways in which you can kind of get in touch with your body to hopefully tap into being able to manage your expectations and putting yourself in a better mood for everything.
So now we want to think a little bit about, okay, we're managed our expectations, we put ourselves in a position for success. How can we actually find some enjoyment this holiday season? Because we know it might look very differently than other holiday seasons. So we want to talk a little bit of a skill, which has a great acronym of IMPROVE, in terms of improving this present moment. And so improving the moment refers to replacing negative events with more positive ones, and changing the moment into something more positive and more easy to tolerate. So it doesn't necessarily mean we're getting rid of all the negative experiences we might have, but instead we're trying to couple them and sandwich around them some positive experiences to help us feel like we can balance out and feel good this holiday season. So there are several ways that we can improve our present moment, which follow the acronym IMPROVE. So the first I stands for imagery. So one thing you can do to improve your present moment is create a situation that's different from the actual one by imagining a different scenario. So this could be imagining being with loved ones and friends. This could be imagining doing something you enjoy, whether it be a hobby or an activity that you like. Just picturing yourself somewhere in a calming, cool, and great environment. That can be a great way to kind of shift that present moment for yourself. We can also improve our moment with meaning. So finding meaning in challenging situations, or if life seems unfair. So sometimes it's really important to think, even if my time is really challenging right now, think about the good I'm doing by staying home, by staying safe, what that might be doing for the greater good. Prayer can be another way to improve our present moment. If that's something that is of interest to you, finding the ability to open oneself completely up to a moment. It's kind of similar to radical acceptance, finding things to tune into, whether it be a higher power, whether it be a deeper meaning, whatever that looks like for you, of just being able to open yourself up to a greater sense of self. Another important way we can kind of improve our present moment is taking relaxing actions. So this is traveling back to some of the skills we just talked about, using our self-soothing through five senses, or thinking of ways that can be helpful to relax our bodies. So everybody's different. So whether relaxing your body looks like lying down on your couch, watching a movie, whether it be taking a walk outside to get some exercise, it could also just be taking a hot shower, whatever it looks like for you, figure out a way of how can I put myself and my body in a situation to feel more relaxation. Another really important thing we can do to improve our present moment is to focus on one thing at a time. So if we're able to stay mindful and focus on the present moment or the present task at hand, it can really help us to stay present, to stay where we are, rather than allowing our mind to wander. So if we're taking the choice to not multitask and instead just focusing on one thing at a time, that can really help us to focus in on how are we finding enjoyment in each day. I really like the V, which stands for brief vacation. So this is an idea that we might not be able to take actual vacations right now in this holiday season, but what we could do is take brief vacations from our constant need to be adults and our adulting activities, and just forego responsibility for a brief moment. Just giving yourself breaks to regroup, take a little time off of doing the shoulds of your list, and instead just doing things that you want to be doing can be a really helpful way to just let yourself off the hook and then return to regular scheduled programming. And finally, the E of this improved skill stands for self-encouragement and being able to rethink a situation. The beauty is that we can be our best cheerleaders, and we can, in our minds, think about a situation and be creative about how we can rethink something, and give ourselves the opportunity to encourage ourselves, to lift ourselves up, and not feel like we're getting stuck in our minds worrying about the things that are not going our way. So if we can take a minute to remember that we are our biggest cheerleaders, that we have the ability to rethink how our situations may look, that can greatly improve our present moment in just a small little way. So finally, we've thought about a few different ways, thinking about this holiday season. How can we make improving the moment a little more specific to what might be going on around us in the holidays? So we've created a list here that might be relevant to you, but we really do encourage you to think about other ways that how can you improve your present moment and find enjoyment this season that's specific and idiosyncratic to you. So little things we've thought of is that you could savor the little things, whether it be a snowfall or enjoying a really nice candle, any little things that's just yours that you're taking a moment just to appreciate the little things that go on in your day. Maybe it be singing out loud, finding time to be present and just take some nice deep breaths. Count your blessings for the things that you are grateful for in your life. You can try to learn something new, whether it be a skill, a hobby, something that's been on your mind you've wanted to do with some downtime that maybe you have time for now. Maybe there's opportunities to create a new tradition so that you can look forward to it in future years that you could bring to holiday and family gatherings in the future. If it's okay with you and if you're safe and you feel comfortable doing so, volunteering in your community could be a great way to give back this holiday season. So that could be at a soup kitchen, it could be at an animal shelter, but you could also volunteer your time virtually. If you think about different ways to get involved in your community, there might be great events going on that you could do from the comfort of your home. I think it's also important in this time to remember to make plans with friends, whether in person or virtual, whatever fits your comfort and your safety needs. And remember that you can reach out to people in this time, whether it just be through text, through calls, through Zoom sessions. There are a variety of ways to feel the support, and people would love hearing from you just like you would love hearing from others. I think what's also really nice to think about is how you can be kind to others. So whether it's showing that support through text or calls, it could also be through donating to different charities that you're interested in, or just finding ways to just be kind in small gestures, whether it's keeping a door open for someone or doing something picking something up off the street if you see it. Kind of that general sense of generosity that comes with holiday seasons is a really nice way to feel present and enjoy your present days. I also love just thinking about small little treats and rewards you can give yourself during this time, whether it be a favorite book, a TV show, a favorite food, favorite place to go for a walk. All those things can really bring you back to the present day and finding a little bit of joy in each moment we're here this holiday season. So with that, that is our sort of big tips and trades for how to manage expectations and find joy in the holiday season. We really encourage you to make this your own and find personal ways that you can do this to just manage this time to the best and be your best self that you can be. So we really appreciate it. So thanks so much for tuning in.